If I'm really anxious, my chest tightens up and it's hard for me to breathe. I start like shaking uncontrollably. You feel like you're breathing out of a tiny straw. I'm Zach. I am 17 years old and I have anxiety.
I would say that Zach has always had a decent level of anxiety. By 8th grade, he was in pretty rough shape. He just was so on the edge all the time. His room was his safe place. It was the only place in the world that was safe to him.
I dealt with agoraphobia, like severe agoraphobia, to the point where leaving my bed to go get food was very uncomfortable for me even using the bathroom was like, I would run there, run back. Some people think anxiety is just, you're not sucking it up and not muscling through it, but in reality, it's something in your brain that you can't control all the time.
It's a lot of work to be around somebody who's so uncomfortable in their own skin, especially when it's somebody that you love and care about so much. I just canvassed the country basically for what is available. When I went to WayPoint, it was like, this is it.
WayPoint Academy is a school that specializes in the treatment of anxiety disorder. People are shocked often to find that these kids are even struggling because they're not that kid that meets that typical profile of the troubled teen, but they are really suffering silently in their lives. Kids aren't coming here to become leaders. They're coming here to become untangled so they can become the people they really were meant to be from the beginning. These are kids that are avoidant. They avoid school, they avoid friends, and really the part of their world that they're avoiding the most is their internal world. They're avoiding their thoughts, they're avoiding their feelings. So yeah, these are really bright kids. These are kids that have wins under their belt. And then anxiety took over their world. And then that's who we designed WayPoint for.
Before, I just wanted to give in to the inner critic and shrivel up in a ball, feeling like I'm stuck in an equilibrium where I'm not making progress, but I'm not going down. And the reason that's so frustrating for me is I don't know what direction I'm going in. I feel very lucky to have found WayPoint, because it changes so much. This treatment center, it's a school, it's a place to meet people and be comfortable with them. You still have homework, you're still responsible for going to classes, you're dealing with emotions, how to deal with those emotions, and on top of that you have school.
Part of our goal is we want them active. I want them doing things. So they're working in a garden, they're hanging out around a fire, they are doing yoga, they are doing mindfulness-based activities, they're going over to the lake at night and watching the sunset and meditating, they are forming fly fishing clubs and birding clubs, and they're being kids. They're learning to be kids again.
I meet with Zach twice a week for individual therapy, and then he is also in group therapy with a different therapist 3 times a week. So one of the first things that we do is we create a hierarchy of fear, and then that hierarchy of fear becomes kind of like a treatment document, if you will, and we start working exposure therapy to address those fears and help them to increase their distress tolerance.
The only way I could really describe it is, say you're going for like a really hard, steep hike. You just feel like your legs are dying and you're shaking, and it's like kind of unnerving. You get to the top and you sit down, you're like, ah. You learn that you can make it through something that's difficult. when the challenge is over, nothing feels bad anymore.
I think a lot of times people think that the goal with anxiety is to eliminate it, and it really isn't. The goal with anxiety is to be able to take it as it comes and be in the presence of fear and sit all the way through the experience and come out on the other side and find, I can do this, I'm okay.
If somebody had asked me a year ago what 17 would look like for Zach, we used to not be able to talk about the future. We could maybe talk about what was going to happen in an hour or two. And on one of the visits, Zach started talking to me about college. And it was like, we're talking about the future. Birthday to you. He's resilient. He's present. He's accountable. I'm so proud of him. Happy birthday to you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah.
I still have a really long road ahead of me in terms of things I still want to get done. You don't deal with the stuff that we're dealing with here overnight or in a week. It's a very long-term thing. Anxiety isn't the end of the world. I choose not to give it the power that it had before.
Hello Today fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.